Good morning. How you doing today? You all right? Everything cool? I think I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Mark, we saw you in The Masked Singer. What was that like? How was that experience? Well, all I can tell you is it was unbelievable. It was surreal. It was exciting. It was terrifying, frightening. And most of all, I'm super grateful for the opportunity. And it came at a wonderful time, the perfect time for me. And I'm super grateful. Let's go through that litany of adjectives I just described right there. First of all, it's terrifying for me because it's a singing competition. I mean, there's no way in hell with my voice, if you want to call it that, I would ever enter a singing competition. Unless you put me in a 9-foot Orca costume and I could sort of be someone I'm not, and maybe sneak up on some people with a little heavy metal. And that's what I was able to do, and last a couple weeks. No one's ever going to confuse my voice with Pavarotti, Mariah Carey, Adam Levine, Chris Cornell, Brian Luttrell, or any of these wonderful, internationally famous voices. I've gotten by on tone and a lot of help from a producer named David Kahn, who led me to water, if you will, in regards to my voice. So I was petrified, terrified about going on The Masked Singer. It's only the biggest show on TV, so when you fail in front of millions of people. But I've gotten used to that in my career, failing in front of millions of people. It's way worse not trying than trying. That's always been maybe that's a little lesson for today. And you got to try. What did Sinatra say? It's better to have lost than loved than have never loved at all. You got to try. You got to at least try, right? So trying in front of millions of people is something that I've become accustomed to, whether it's singing, whether it's hosting, or whether it's The Masked Singer. But it was such an amazing experience. From the very first Zoom meeting I took with the folks at The Masked Singer, this is back in the summer. And mind you, I was supposed to be on season 4, but because of certain COVID repercussions, I was removed from season 4 and kicked down to season 5. And I was a little bummed out and disheartened, I got to say, because, there was not a lot going on last year, as we know, with the pandemic. And so it came at such an opportune time for me to have a chance to participate in this show. So I was a bit brokenhearted, but they said, Mark, don't worry. Obviously, it's out of your control. It's out of our control, but we'll make sure we put you on season 5. And I'm like, okay. But I was a little bummed out, And I got to tell you, they kept in touch with me, let me know everything was cool. And as soon as they started ramping up for season 5, I was right in the mix. So I'm really grateful for the professionalism and just consideration that everybody at The Masked Singer showed me since the first Zoom meeting until I just finished my last publicity around the show last week. It was first class the whole way. I mean, there's a reason why that show is #1 around the world. And it's because it's an incredible concept and a lot of fun for everybody and completely uplifting. Yes, it is a competition, but it's an experience more than anything, for the audience and for the people participating. So I thought, look, I could probably get into this thing and maybe somehow finesse my way a couple of rounds with some charisma, a little bit of pizzazz. And I was fortunate to do that. So I want to thank everybody at The Masked Singer for the wonderful opportunity. So many names. I hesitate to mention names because I'm going to leave some out. But Mike and Trevor, thank you so much for everything. Miguel, dude, the music was so amazing. Tamira and Tim, thank you for the vocal coaching. CNC Music Factory on the wardrobe, you guys were amazing. And Marina, the whole department that made such a wonderful Orca costume for me. That was the first. People asked me if I had anything to do with the decision in making of the costume or decision in the aesthetic of the costume. Nothing at all. It was the first thing they showed me. They go, Mark, we want you to be the Orca. And I went, I am so in. And I'm so grateful because I wouldn't want to be one big hairy, fuzzy, whatchamacallit, or big hairy thing or something that like you have to control with baby hands or something, because that would have not been suitable to any success I had on the show. So I was happy to see the costume when it was first articulated. What I saw on the screen is what it kind of became in real life. I mean, there's a reason why they're winning millions of Emmys over there at The Masked Singer, because they do such amazing work in the wardrobe. And then it was incredible. It was just off to the races after that. I kind of thought, all right, they don't sing live in The Masked Singer. This must be a lip sync type deal. You go in, you track your vocals, and you kind of lip sync it. No way. You are singing live through that mask, through that costume, through the whole thing. So that was kind of crazy. And the sound was incredible. The audio there, everybody. Again, everybody in production on The Masked Singer are some of the most talented people I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And I want to thank them so much for the opportunity, and for the professionalism, and for the big ups too. They were constantly exalting you. They were constantly lifting up your spirit. And I also was not anticipating the emotional connection I'd have to an Orca costume. Now, I know some of you are laughing right now, but when I took that mask off for the last time, I almost shed a tear. I shed a tear on stage, because they have such a beautiful way of putting the packages together, and making it emotional, having a connection with the song, to the contestant, and to the audience. It's amazing that a 9-foot Orca costume could elicit such an emotional response, not only from me, but from a lot of you. I've got such wonderful responses from everybody regarding their personal experiences, and it was just a wonderful, beautiful experience. And now I have a documentation for my kids to show them how much their granddad loved them. My dad got to meet them, but they were babies. They never got to meet my dad. And I never thought something like The Masked Singer, when I dressed up in a 9-foot Orca costume, was going to have this beautiful piece of historical documentation that describes perfectly in a 2-minute outline of the relationship, how much my dad loved them. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it, man. It was a beautiful thing. So I owe The Masked Singer a whole bunch. Really, it was such a wonderful experience. I hope you guys had as much fun watching as I did. I was never going to win that thing, as we all know. There are world-class singers on that stage, but I don't think anybody, as usual, had as much fun as I did. So I want to thank you. I feel the support. I felt the support. I heard the support. I've read the support. And I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for the support. And most importantly, to The Masked Singer, everybody, thank you so much for having me. It was a blast. It was so much fun. And I wish everybody the best of luck the rest of the way. So that's my little bit of The Masked Singer, man. The likelihood of me being in a giant 9-foot costume and dancing in my future, in my career, was pretty likely, to tell you the truth. But it was probably going to be on the corner of like La Cienega and Beverly, playing at a kebab shop or like a chicken shack or something like that. Not on front of millions of people on stage on The Masked Singer on Fox. I don't think that was the plan. But the irony is, the likelihood of me dancing in a gigantic costume was pretty high about 5-6 years ago. So I want to, again, thank them for the wonderful experience. And thank you all for the wonderful comments and all that good stuff. So I usually don't get mushy on these things, but man, it's hard not to. The Masked Singer, man, I'm telling you, they pull at your heartstrings. They give you an emotional connection to a giant sentient being. It's a beautiful thing. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. Have a great day. Take care.